Francis, congratulations on winning the title. It's been quite the journey for you to get here, and I'm sure it's still kind of all soaking in, but what are the emotions right now that you got that belt on the table next to you?
Thank you, John. I feel great, man. You know, it's been 3 years that I've been living without it. I always thought that I could have it 3 years ago. So tonight there wasn't a place for mistake. So as me and my team, we've been working as it was like on my corner, always remind me to calm down and execute the game plan perfectly. And you know, here we are.
Yeah. I'm sure you'll want to go back and watch it and break it down, but overall it seemed like a pretty flawless performance. You know, patient, very mature. How did you feel about your performance in there? Did it play out the way you wanted it to?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as I said, the game plan was to be relaxed, not to rush at all, calm down, and you know, because my team, they know that that's the moment that I have the best of myself when I'm relaxed. You know, I'm not rushing to cut someone's head.
We know that you have the power to knock out anybody, but I'm curious, when you stuffed the takedown, you know, you got that, you showed the defensive wrestling. How much did that mentally do for you in that moment to say, oh, I'm ready, I've got this?
At that specific moment, I didn't think about it, you know, because in the past few months, I've been stopping a lot of takedowns, and that has been like the most part of my training. I mean, I had a training camp before a training camp. I've been working on my wrestling for like 6 months, even before the fight. So at that moment, I didn't think about it. What I thought about it was how he was able to like take shot and like still going. But I've been here before, and he's tough. I know he's tough. There's nothing surprise about it. Don't get so, overwhelmed. Calm down, and you know, reset.
Yeah. We saw the emotion in the cage with you and your team. I'm sure you wish you were champion 3 years ago, but in some ways, I mean, do you feel like you appreciate the accomplishment more because it didn't come so fast? You know, you fell short and had to work your way back up. Do you feel like maybe you appreciate it more?
Yeah, definitely. You know, when the journey is longer than when it's longer, the reward is always more appreciable, you know. So I'm sure I would have been happy 3 years ago, but I think from now, from my I have a different perspective about this, you know, being happy about my improvement and how I can do fighting wise, my fighting IQ, see how I can go out there being very patient. So I'm also happy about my performance, even though he didn't last long, but I'm happy that I was able to calm myself and calm myself down, like, okay, listen to what your corner are telling you, you know, like, calm down, you get this, you know, you have 25 minutes, you don't have to rush. And it could happen anytime within 25 minutes.
We don't know what Stipe is going to do next in his career. And I'm sure if they gave him to you again, you'd be happy to take the fight. But do you feel a need to have a trilogy fight with him at any point? Or do you feel like this was definitive enough to put that first one behind you?
Well, personally, no, I don't feel a need. He said, I won't be a champion until he's retired. So maybe he retired. But if not, I'll still be down to fight him. You know, I lost against him, and he stands at the greatest heavyweight of all the time. So it makes sense for me to still fight him if needed.
Nice. Last thing for me, Dana was here earlier, and he said, look, Jon Jones, if he's willing to step up, that's the fight to make right now. If Jones isn't, then Derrick Lewis would probably be the fight to make right now. So do you agree with that assessment that it's Jon Jones or Derrick Lewis, and does one of those fights mean more to you than the other?
Well, obviously Jon Jones make more sense for me, but either way, I'm gonna fight. If Jon Jones doesn't come to heavyweight, the division has to move. And as a new heavyweight champion, I decided to move on, put more activity in the division, than he has been in the past 2 or 3 years.
Francis, congratulations. Over to your right. Great performance tonight.
Thank you, sir.
When you started in MMA, when you started boxing even, did you have difficulty with patience? Was it always something that you fought, trying to battle to be patient in the ring?
I think so. Yeah, I think so, because I didn't have a good understanding of controlling a time. I was going there not to fight during the time, but to fight instantly, and rushing there. I didn't understand the patient part of it, the fight IQ, how they call it. But learn everything. I had to learn everything, and I'm learning.
And obviously your coaches did a great job with you, and you showed that tonight. But I wonder, how much do you feel like you lost the fight last time, even before you got in the ring, with the way you prepared? And did you feel like you were more professional this time around? You came in magnificent shape, and you seemed like you were a totally different person, not only in the ring, but just in the way you went about doing your business.
Yeah. This time was a whole different story. We took time, set down every single thing differently, make it right, and I came here tonight knowing that if it doesn't go my way, I'm gonna be satisfied. I'm gonna look at myself. I'm like, okay, I did what I should have done. I did what needed to be done. But didn't mean to just give up like that. Obviously I have to fight, but just look at myself. I'm like, okay, I did the right thing. I'm here, so I can't regret anything else.
A couple other things for me very quickly. First of all, I wonder, when you hit Stipe with that right hand from the top, when he was down after the second knockdown, you're a little scared like you might have hurt him, because that was an unbelievable punch from the top there that you landed. Were you worried at all about him?
No. Stipe proved that he's a tough guy, and I knew that. So even when he fell the first round, I almost get him, but if he wasn't him, if he was somebody, he wouldn't get up, But he's very tough, and I didn't want to give a chance for him to come back from that.
Obviously, you being the third African champion, and being a heavyweight, right? Everybody loves the heavyweight champion. What impact do you think you're going to be able to have with young children in Africa? I know you've worked a lot with children and whatnot. And what impact do you think you're going to have with some of the children back home?
Well, I think this is just like a symbol of dedication and perseverance. For those children, somebody asked me what do I gonna do with the belt, and I was saying, maybe we're gonna find a place, in a public place in Cameroon, and put it there so some kids can look on it, and he inspired them. They will understand that as a symbol of determination, somebody coming from where they are to get that. So everything is possible for them if they stay focused and believe in it, in their dream. So, I think it's my own way of doing it. I don't have any better idea than that, but that's what I'm going forward to do.
And finally, there were a lot of celebrities here tonight. I wonder if any celebrities, any famous people texted you to congratulate you after your win.
Probably, but I haven't had a chance to check my phone yet. You're welcome.
Francis, over here, other side. I saw you were talking with Stipe right before they raised your hand. What were you saying to him after the fight?
Well, I told him it was an honor sharing the octagon with him because if he standard as my opponent tonight. But we all know what Stipe has done in the heavyweight division to become a greatest of all the time, you know, and to put me in this position to have the opportunity to be the one who fight the GOAT of the division, you know, is a good thing, and I appreciate it. Stipe is a good guy, and you know, but here we are just doing business.
And then you voiced your displeasure over the years of not getting fights. Maybe the division is held up. You wanted to stay active, but now everyone has to come after you, and you're not going to be short of any fights. So even with that belt, are you looking forward to now just being more active now, and you can fight more often now that you are the champion?
I never ask less. I always ask to be active, and I hope with the belt now I'm gonna be more active. I'm gonna be able to do 2 or 3 fights per year. So that's my intention moving forward.
Before this fight, you gave an interview with Brett Okamoto of ESPN where you're saying, when you think of your childhood, you said there was something missing in your life, and maybe this UFC belt would fill that gap, and you could show people from your childhood that you weren't all that bad. So now that you have the belt, have you really thought about that, of filling that gap you didn't have as a kid?
Well, I think I'm gonna go home, take time, collect my emotion, settle, look up to my life, and you know, obviously figure out what is the next step and how to approach that. But yes, this should be it. You know, this has always been my own dream to deal with my childhood. I think I always felt like I needed this to be in the first stage, as I promised myself 20 years or so ago, to become a champion, a world champion, to step and stand in the first step to prove those people who were looking at me like I was nothing, that I was something. You know, I didn't just have a chance as them. I was just a kid who, you know. So yeah, I think so.
Hey Francis, Stipe came into this fight weighing 234 pounds. Did you feel a bigger size advantage, a much more noticeable advantage than him inside the cage?
No, I feel size disadvantage because I wanted to get lighter than what I was. We all know that watching him fight DC last time, he was lighter. He has a speed and everything, and his condition was great, and I didn't want to deal with that, you know. So I knew that I have a big challenge, and that also helped me focus on my condition regarding the first fight and how he's cutting down, being to get this condition improved. So that wasn't an advantage for me. I wanted to get lighter. If I can get 20 pound lighter, I will get.
When he did landed the punches, did it feel any different than the first fight?
No, at all. The only difference right here was like I wasn't going there to take his head off. I'm like, okay, I'm just fighting, and I knew that Stipe can take a shot. So yeah, I landed, and I was like, okay, let's go. You still have time. Don't rush. Don't give him a chance to counter or to do something different, you know. And obviously, I knew that Stipe would be waiting on me to rush on him so he can counter or take down or whatever. And me just being patient might just break him down mentally.
And lastly, this is probably the last time you're going to have to fight without fans. As the world's opening up, where's the first city that you would like to defend your title?
The first city that I would like to defend my title? Paris. I mean, I don't think they'll take a big pay-per-view in Paris right now, but I would say Paris. Other than that, Vegas is home, is a good town. Yeah.
Francis over here, to your left. Hi. Francis, at the Hall of Fame, I asked you, what is the moment from your career that you will remember forever? You told me it had not happened yet. Maybe when I win the title. I want to ask you, you have that belt in front of you. Tonight, is this the moment from your career that you will remember forever?
My career hasn't done yet, so there's a lot of things we can be. I'm expecting way more going forward, maybe way better than this. So I still don't know.
Secondly, this is a big moment for you. I know you said you haven't been able to check your phone yet. When Francis Ngannou is finally alone, who's the first person that he's going to call on the phone?
I called my mom already. I wasn't able to talk to her because she was in the middle of party. It was going crazy over there. We couldn't tell, but at least she saw the belt.
Have you imagined, like, is it going to be on the pillow next to you tonight? Have you figured out what you're going to do?
It's gonna be home, you know. It's great, but this is just a mirror, you know. The most important thing is the principle behind it, you know, the idea, the reason why you are a champ, the title, you know. So I might sleep with him. I will sleep with him definitely, but
Congratulations.
thank you.
Francis in the back, to your far left. So a lot has been made of your team, Dewey and Eric, and the adjustments that were made from the first fight to this one. What was that part of the journey like for you? What did you have to buy into in order to achieve what you did tonight?
Oh, everything. Because the first time I didn't do anything right, you know. Like thinking about that fight, it was a whole mess, the whole process. I showed up that night, didn't even know what I was here for, didn't have an emotion, you know, because it was just all over. I was lost in between all this. You know, this time I took a time, collect myself, approach this differently, and I will appreciate it differently.
We were missing the fans tonight, but do you feel like having your title shot here in Apex and really being able to hear your corner, did that help you?
I don't know. I think everyone can hear his corner when he's calm, when he's not rushing, you know, because they are closer, and you kind of like get used to their voice during like practice, and that's what we do, you know. Like the first thing that happened when we get in the octagon, I look up when my corner I see it, so I knew that that's where I'm gonna be looking for and trying to get in a voice from.
Last question for me is Dana has referred to Stipe as the greatest UFC heavyweight of all time. Given your dominant performance tonight, where does that put you?
I think there's still no doubt that Stipe is the greatest of all the time. You know, as his resume said, and nobody hasn't taken that from him. We're gonna see what's happened moving forward. You know, me fighting, defending the title, and from there we're gonna know where is my position.
Francis, you've talked a lot about the first fight against Stipe, but after the fight, you were talking to Rogan. You actually mentioned the date, you know, January 20, 2018. How often have you thought about that date? How often have you thought about that fight?
I thought about it. I don't know. I don't think I ever think of putting down the frequency of the thought about that fight, but I thought about it. Basically, when it comes to like fight, when I think about the title or all those stuff, I mean, I don't know how often, but all the time.
And your journey has been documented, all the places that you've been and how you got here. But how important was Las Vegas? Like, how important has Las Vegas been settling here, finding a home, establishing yourself? How important has that been to your career?
Everywhere has been very important for me. Las Vegas has been very important because as a nomad, I have a ability to make everywhere that I am look at like home. And today Vegas is home, and it's giving me everything that you can take from home. But 4 years ago, it was Paris, and Paris was home also. So, yeah.
And are you gonna take time to celebrate, or are you already thinking, next fight, getting ready, getting back in the gym, getting ready?
I mean, I'm definitely gonna take some time to rest, some time off. That's obvious, knowing that I've been in the very long training camp. I was very exhausted at some point, but I would like to fight as soon as possible, so I'll be ready by summer, July or September, I think, or August, I think.
So my last thing is, obviously tonight you've won the title, all this craziness is going on. Have you thought about the moment, like when you wake up tomorrow morning and realize, like, oh yeah, that happened?
No, I haven't think about that, but even now I'm realizing that happened. There's no doubt about it.
Thanks, man.
Francis over here to your right. You got Kamaru Usman in your corner tonight, of course. So what did you guys say to each other after you won tonight?
Well, we just say three. Meaning three African champion. And that was coming up here. I had that pressure on my shoulder, and I was afraid of letting them down, since they were expecting me to become champion and join them as an African champion in our own sort of like association.
And now that you have accomplished that, and there are three, what does that mean to you?
It's very important. It's a hope. We stand as a hope for a whole continent when it comes to sport. We stand as a hope for all those Africans out there who doesn't have a chance and opportunity, and we just want to put them in the map. We just want to get the UFC, go there, make an event in order to give them hope, to make them believe in something, and for those who are training, so they can have an extra motivation, knowing that training can one day end up somewhere.
And then just last thing, I know you said after the fight that Jon Jones makes sense as the next fight. Will you tell the UFC that? Will you say, like, hey, that's the guy I want? I'm the champ. I want to fight Jon Jones next.
I might be the champ, but I don't make a call. I'm just a fighter. So the UFC decide what really happened. But for what I want or what I would like, yes, I would like that.
Thanks, Francis. Congrats.
You're welcome.
Congratulations, champion.
Thank you very much.
Sir, you haven't been shy at all about it, touching on the lowest of the lows, and I'm sure you will experience the highest of the highs. But what is your message to people who are having a hard time persevering? Because you are personifying that now. What do you say to the people struggling that have been in your shoes, if you could reach out to them now in this position that you are as the UFC champion?
What is your first question? You just asked if I have been shy or...
That you have not been shy about your experiences in life when things got difficult. And now you're open about it. But what do you say to the people who struggle now as you did in the past and you reached the top? What is your message to them?
I never been shy about it. I think it was just so tough for me, sad. I didn't like to think about it. At some point I felt like it's a moment that I want to erase in my life. But, moving on, I understood that his word also made me who I am today. But, a lot of people also go through the same struggle as me, didn't have a chance to have a decent or a minimum childhood, because I think at least every kid should at least have a chance to enjoy his childhood. Then becoming adult, he's in charge of his life, so he can take action and be responsible of his life. But for those who are in the same situation, I can't do anything, but if I can tell somebody something, it's just like, keep moving, believe. It's not fair, I know, but it's not your fault. you know, because sometimes you feel like it's your fault. As a kid, it's not your fault that you can't afford a scholarship. No, it's not your fault. It's not your duty, you know. It's just because your parent didn't have a chance. It's not your fault that you don't have shoes. It's not your fault that you don't have a pen or something, you know. So just keep moving, try to do your best, and that's what you can hold yourself accountable for it, for not trying. But if you try and still don't succeed, that's not your fault.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations.
You're welcome. Thank you.